Hello, third graders. Welcome to Module 4, Lesson 2, Day 12. Our learning target for today is I can read pages 4 through 8 of the text Groundwater and determine the main idea of the section. All right, read it with me. 3, 2, 1, and go. I can read pages 4 through 8 of the text Groundwater and determine the main idea of the section. Today, you will read pages 4 through 8 of the text Groundwater and record at least one main idea and details from the section. You will need the Groundwater text, journal page for day 12, and something to write with. All right, let's get started with reading pages 4 through 8. You can either pause the video and read with somebody near you, read to yourself, or you can follow along in your book as I read it out loud. When the water runs out, picture getting up one morning, turning on the faucet, and getting nothing but a gurgle. This happened in a part of California that is famous for its fruits and vegetables. Years of drought there meant little rain. To irrigate their crops, farmers pumped huge amounts of groundwater from under the land. The result was some 2,000 dry wells in 2014. Unfortunately, California isn't the only place with a water crisis. Look at the diagram below. Water in the ground equals groundwater. Precipitation falls from the clouds, goes down into the earth, and it becomes groundwater. Some of it runs off and becomes surface water. Look at the two sections of rocks. You've got fractured rock and gravel. The caption says, groundwater fills the spaces and cracks between rocks, sand, and soil underground. Look at the diagram at the top of the page. Water we can use. 99% of all water on Earth is unusable. 1% of all water on Earth is usable. And 99% of that 1% is groundwater. Ground ice and permafrost make up 0.7%, and surface water makes up 0.3%. What and where is groundwater? Many of us look at a globe and think the planet holds plenty of water for all our needs. Most of Earth's water is on our oceans, however, and full of salt. Fresh water keeps us alive, yet very little of Earth's water is fresh. Of that small amount, most is frozen. Scientists say that 99% of Earth's usable water is in the ground. Most groundwater is stored beneath land in aquifers. These are underground layers of rock, gravel, and sand that hold groundwater like huge sponges. Rain and melting snow flow very slowly into the surface soil and rock to feed the aquifers. Aquifers can reach down thousands of feet and extend for thousands of miles. They feed our rivers, lakes, and wetlands. Their fresh water also irrigates the best farming areas in the world. For more than a century, people have been pumping billions of gallons of water from underground to drink, grow crops, and meet other needs. Even during a drought, communities and farms above aquifers can draw groundwater. It keeps many of us from going hungry and thirsty. The trouble is that groundwater levels are falling fast. People near and far must conserve this life-giving resource. Take a look at the photograph. The caption below it says, center pivot irrigation makes farming possible in many dry regions. Too many straws. We are pumping groundwater faster than nature can replace it, experts say. Since 1995, water levels have dropped in almost 2/3 of the wells across the United States. The title of the chart below says ups and mostly downs, the Agulhas Aquifer. The Agulhas Aquifer waters the wheat fields of America, but that water can't last forever. This map shows water level changes in the aquifer over a span of about 60 years. In some places, water levels are largely unchanged today. In others, they have crashed. Let's take a look at the map. We'll read from the top left to the right and then down. The state of Wyoming has decreased 0.4 feet. South Dakota has had zero decrease or increase. Nebraska has had a decrease of 9/10 feet. Colorado has had a decrease of 13 2/10 feet. Kansas has had a decrease of 22 8/10 feet. New Mexico has had a decrease of 15 1/10 feet. Oklahoma has had a decrease of 12 3/10 feet. And Texas has had a decrease of 36 7/10 feet. Water level changes in the aquifer 1950 to 2010. Take a look at the graph below. The water level in one Texas well has sunk more than 120 feet. In the graph, on the y-axis, you have the ground level, feet underground. On the x-axis, you have the years. The first marker is 1952, and the last marker in the graph is 2012. Notice that the water level has sunk as you move from 1952 to 2012. Take a look at the picture at the top of page 8. Sonoma Valley in California is famous for its fields of grapes. Competition for groundwater is causing conflict in some farming areas. In Northern California, for example, winemakers grow fields of grapes, which need large amounts of water. Many of these winemakers have drilled deep wells to make sure they can get the groundwater they need. Without it, they might go out of business. Many smaller farmers and homeowners nearby, though, blame winemakers for sucking up too much of the groundwater they all share. In many cases, these smaller property owners cannot afford to drill deeper wells for themselves. As a result, their shallower wells go dry. It's as if everyone has their straws in the same drink, but some farms and businesses can pay for more and longer straws. This problem raises big questions. Who owns groundwater? What is fair? Now we want you to think about it. Here are 2 questions to think about as you are going back and reflecting on what we just read. What are the world's freshwater sources? Let's try that again. Why are the world's freshwater sources threatened? How do people convince others to take action to contribute to a better world? Time to talk about it. The main ideas are the big points that the author wants you to understand from reading. So thinking about what we just read on pages 4 through 8, what do you think the main ideas of pages 4 through 8 are? And what details would support the main idea? Pause the video and take some time to talk about this with somebody near you. If there's nobody to talk about it with, go find a mirror and talk about it with yourself. Welcome back. It's time to write about it. In your journal on day 12, we want you to add at least one main idea and supporting detail from pages 4 through 6. Remember, you can use your text to help you. Have a good day.